Critical race theory is destroying the Democrats. In this video, we're going to take a look at a new study that proves CRT is driving people away from the Demented Dems in droves, how the latest controversies in sports are only exacerbating the implosion, and why the political mobilizations against CRT across the nation promise an electoral bloodbath in 2022. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you. As always, we are your daily fake news antidote. As each and every day, we provide patriotic analysis to help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Before we dive into things here, let's give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video, and that's the makers of Keto Elevate. If you want the benefits of elevated ketone levels, but without having to actually do the difficult parts of the keto diet, like cutting out those carbs and the breads and the like, you want Keto Elevate. I use it myself. It tastes great, curbs my appetite for hours. Now, if you click on the link below, you can get your very first shipment of Keto Elevate on its way to you right now at a whopping 51% off the regular price. So do not wait. Click on that link below and reap the rewards that Keto Elevate can bring to your life today. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. I know many of you were absolutely outraged to hear about the ridiculous attention-seeking antics of this hammer thrower who turned away from the American flag during the playing of the national anthem over the weekend. Gwen Berry, who just qualified for a second U.S. Olympic team during the trials over the weekend, actually said that she was, quote, pissed that the Star Spangled Banner played as she received her third-place bronze medal. And so as it was playing, she turned to face the stands rather than the flag before holding up a black shirt that read "Activist Athlete." Now, needless to say, the backlash against this disrespect of our flag was swift. Kathy Tuvolaris, a Republican operative, I think she said it best. Perhaps it's time we turned our backs on her. And that's exactly what a number of people are saying, at least in terms of their sentiment. If this woke warrior is going to have the gall to turn her back on the nation that's giving her this amazing Olympic opportunity, then perhaps we collectively, as the citizens of that nation, should turn our backs on her. Vid DeGrama, a Florida congressional candidate who is himself black, tweeted out, quote, "If you can't respect the flag or anthem, then you shouldn't be allowed to compete." Senator Ted Cruz responded, "Why does the left hate America? Sure, we have our faults, but no nation in the history of the world has liberated more people from captivity, has lifted more out of poverty, has bled more for freedom, or has blessed more with abundance. God bless America." But then, after the avalanche of critique, when this girl Gwen was asked to give an account of what she did, she completely doubled down. She said that the outrage over what she did proved two things. One, that Americans value patriotism over basic morality. And two, that all the rhetoric that Black Lives Matter was all a lie. No one cares. To which you just have to say, I mean, wow. Basic morality. I would love to hear her definition of basic morality that allows her to spit in the face of the very nation that gave her this amazing Olympic opportunity in the first place. But unfortunately, Gwen Berry was not the only one involved with athletics to provoke racial controversy. I'm sure many of you were equally outraged by the comments made by ESPN commentator Jalen Rose, who publicly claimed that the lone white person to make the 12-man roster for the U.S. Olympic basketball team benefited from what he called, quote, tokenism. According to Rose, Kevin Love was on the Olympic team solely because Olympic officials were, quote, scared to make an all-black team representing the United States of America, adding that he was, quote, disappointed in that. It was a breathtakingly astonishing claim, which, had it involved any other racial tokenism, would have been universally denounced as horrifically racist. But given the rules of political correctness, which is in actuality a form of cultural Marxism known as repressive tolerance, Rose's absurdly racist comments were allowed, with not a peep of denunciation from the mainstream Marxist media. But if anything, that moral myopia, the mainstream Democratic media, is only fueling Americans' disgust with the plague of critical race theory, or CRT, that's infected our nation. And that was, in fact, the conclusion of a recent study. that Americans are increasingly becoming fed up with this nonsense. The Daily Caller is reporting on a Republican Study Committee report that found backlash against CRT is real and it is explosive. In fact, according to an NBC analysis, at least 165 local and national groups have formed to combat CRT instruction in schools across the nation. According to the report, quote, "We are beginning to see an organic movement from parents across the country in places like Loudoun County, Virginia, and Pelham, New York, and Southlake, Texas, and Bloomington, Illinois, are fed up with the lessons that their kids are being taught. As House conservatives, we should be sending a signal to these concerned parents, we've got your back." Now, you're going to love a video I uploaded last week on the explosion of patriot parents across the nation who are fighting back against their woke school boards who are trying to shove CRT down the throats of their school children. You're going to absolutely love it. You're not going to want to miss it. We have videos of parents causing school boards to literally run away and hide as the parents call them out for their tyrannical tactics and leftist ideology. And patriot parents have begun to mobilize and win elections in the midst of all this. So this reference to Southlake, Texas in the report is very significant. Again, we did a video on the school board elections in Southlake, Texas. You will definitely want to check that video out. The Texas school board election scored an overwhelming victory to stop critical race theory from being forced into Texas classrooms. The elections in Southlake involved the mayor, it involved the city council, it involved the school board, and every single candidate that supported and campaigned on critical race theory lost with 70% of the vote. It was an absolute slaughter at the ballot box. You're going to absolutely love that vid. It's going to make your day. But again, that's just par for the course in this massive backlash that CRT is provoking at a grassroots level. And GOP candidates across the nation are seizing on critical race theory as perhaps the Achilles heel of the modern-day cultural Marxist Democratic Party. The Hill is reporting that virtually every single Republican candidate out there is pummeling their Democratic opponents with CRT, promising to work to outlaw the blatantly racist curriculum from schools and from government offices. And the polls are all moving in our direction on this. The most recent poll found that 58% of Americans, nearly 60%, find CRT somewhat or very unfavorable. Only 38% said they viewed CRT favorably. And so it isn't a coincidence that we're beginning to see this pernicious ideology actually begin to unravel the Democratic Party. Latinos, but most especially Asians, are beginning to abandon the Democrat Party in droves as they see the rise in hate crimes against them actually justified and explained away by supposed structural imbalances in our society or the direct result of white supremacy. But to make matters even worse, it's widely recognized that CRT is calling out Asians to recognize their own position of privilege. And you're going to love this. The pernicious use of CRT against Asian Americans actually caused the Chinese American Citizens Alliance of Greater New York to issue a statement that called critical race theory, I kid you not, a hate crime against Asians. Quote, "One way or another, CRT wants to get rid of too many Asians in good schools because Asians are supposedly overrepresented. CRT is today's Chinese Exclusion Act. CRT is the real hate crime against Asians." Make no mistake, CRT is indeed actively destroying the Democrat Party. And if the recent elections in Southlake are any indicator, a total Democrat meltdown isn't far away. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video. I just uploaded it on the return of Trump. We analyze his Ohio rally speech as it outlines the politics of the future, and you are definitely going to love it. So make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.